What if the stranger who saved your life was also the man fate meant for you? The gunshot cracked across the dusty Wyoming plains, sharp as lightning splitting the sky. Olivia Anderson dropped to her knees behind the overturned wagon, her breath catching in her throat. A bullet tore into the wooden side just inches from her face, sending splinters across her cheeks. Dust filled the air, mixing with the bitter smell of gunpowder. Another shot rang out. Hooves thundered. Someone shouted, "Stay down, miss!" Olivia pressed herself flat against the dirt. Her heart pounded so hard she thought the riders might hear it. She dared a glance toward the sound and saw a lone horseman racing straight toward her, firing at 3 men who turned their horses and fled across the open prairie. The rider skidded to a stop beside her ruined wagon. He swung off his horse in one clean, powerful motion. His boots hit the ground like he'd been born in the saddle. "Are you hurt?" he asked, kneeling beside her. His voice was low and steady, the kind that somehow made her feel safer even in the middle of danger. Olivia shook her head. "They took everything, but I'm not hurt." The man nodded. "Barton's men, they've been raiding travelers for months." He held out his hand. "I'm Adam Prescott." She placed her hand in his. His grip was strong but gentle, and he lifted her like she weighed nothing. Up close, she saw the way the sun bronzed his skin, the dark waves of hair under his hat, and eyes the color of a storm rolling in from the west. "You're far from town," Adam said, surveying the shattered wagon wheel and scattered supplies. "Where were you headed?" "Silver Creek," Olivia answered. "I came to teach." "That's still 30 miles west," he said. "You planning to walk?" "If I must," she said, lifting her chin. A small smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. "Not today. I'm headed that way. I'll take you." Olivia hesitated. Her father had warned her about men in the West. But what choice did she have this time? The empty land stretched in every direction, quiet and unforgiving. "Why help me?" she asked softly. Adam shrugged. "Because it's right, and because I'm riding that way anyway." There was something steady in his gaze, something that told her he was a man of his word. Within an hour they had gathered the little that remained of her belongings. Adam prepared his horse. "You'll ride in front," he said. "That way you won't fall." Before she could protest, he lifted her onto the saddle. Then he swung up behind her, his chest brushing her back, his arms around her as he took the reins. Heat rushed to her cheeks, but she didn't pull away. Something about his presence eased the fear inside her. They rode toward a grove of cottonwoods where Adam kept his small camp. 2 horses grazed nearby, a tent set neatly beside a creek. Everything was organized with quiet precision. "You're not just passing through, are you?" Olivia asked. Adam stiffened. "What makes you say that?" "Your camp. It looks lived in." He removed the saddle from his horse, his jaw tight. "I've been tracking Barton's gang for 2 months. They've hurt too many people." Quote, "You're a lawman?" "Used to be," he said. "Now I'm just a man with a purpose." The way he said it made Olivia stop asking questions. He set up a fire, cooked a simple rabbit stew, and handed her a warm bowl. She ate quietly while the stars stretched across the sky like a blanket of silver. "Why teach?" Adam asked suddenly. Olivia stared into the fire. "I wanted to start over. My father wanted me married to someone I didn't love. When I refused, I was no longer welcome in my home." Adam's jaw tightened. No man has the right to force a woman like that. She looked up. "And you? Why track Barton?" He stared at the flames. "He killed my wife and daughter." The words struck her like a blow. "Adam, I'm so sorry." He nodded, but didn't look at her. "It's been 14 months. Olivia reached out, hesitating before placing her hand lightly on his arm. His muscles tensed, but he didn't pull away. "Thank you," he said quietly, "for listening." After a while, Adam stood. "You take my bedroll by the fire." "I'll use the tent." Quote, "I can't take your... I'll rest better knowing you're safe," he said. She lay down on the bedroll, the scent of pine and leather surrounding her. She watched Adam through half-closed eyes as he tended the horses. Strong, steady, carrying a weight she didn't yet know how to ease. Sleep slowly pulled her under. Morning came with a cold breeze and the smell of coffee. Adam helped her mount the gentle mare he'd saddled for her. As they rode across the open prairie, the sun rising behind them, Olivia found herself studying him. "You're staring," he said without looking over. Olivia jumped. "I wasn't. I mean, what are you wondering?" he asked. "What made you leave your badge behind?" she said. He didn't answer at first. When he finally spoke, his voice was quiet. "Barton got away. The unit got shut down. I couldn't let my family's deaths go unanswered." They rode in silence for a while, the wind tugging at their clothes. "Adam," she said softly, "what happens when you find him?" He looked at her, really looked at her, and the intensity made her breath hitch. "I used to want revenge more than anything," he said, "but meeting you has made me wonder if there's more to life than pain." Olivia's chest tightened. She didn't know what to say. She didn't know how she felt. But she knew this. She didn't want their path to end. Late that afternoon, Adam suddenly tensed and raised his hand. Dust rose in the distance. "What is it?" she whispered. "Riders?" Fear tightened her chest as they pulled into the trees. Adam's voice was tight and low. "That's Barton." Olivia's breath caught. "What do we do?" "We wait," he said, "and pray they don't see us." The riders thundered past, Barton at the lead. Adam's jaw hardened. They're headed to Silver Creek. "What now?" "We go after them," he said. "But first, Olivia, I need to get you somewhere safe." "No," she said firmly. "I'm staying with you." He stared at her for a long moment. "You're brave," he said softly, "or foolish." "Maybe both," she answered. He nodded. "Stay close to me, no matter what." Quote. And together, they rode toward Silver Creek, toward danger, toward something neither of them could name yet. The sun dipped behind the hills as Adam and Olivia left the horses at the old hunting cabin and walked toward Silver Creek under the cover of night. Olivia wore the oversized shirt and vest Adam had given her, her hair tucked under a hat. She still looked more like a schoolteacher than a boy, but Adam only smiled softly. "You'll do fine," he said. "Just stay close." The town glowed with lamplight. Laughter spilled from the saloon and piano music drifted into the street. Adam guided her to a quiet building with a lantern over the doorway. "That's the sheriff's office," he whispered. "Let me handle the talking." Inside, the sheriff looked up with tired eyes and a hand near his shotgun. "Can I help you folks?" Adam stepped forward. "Name's Adam Prescott, former marshal out of Denver." Recognition lit the sheriff's face. "Prescott, heard about what happened." "You tracking Barton?" Adam nodded. "Saw them ride into town." Quote, "They're at the Golden Nugget," the sheriff said with a grim sigh. "Been drinking for hours. I can't have a shootout in the street." "I don't want a shootout," Adam said. "I want justice." The sheriff rubbed his jaw. "I've got 2 deputies. If you help, we can arrest them alive. Judge comes next week." Adam was silent for a moment. Olivia watched the muscles in his jaw tighten. Finally, he nodded. "Tell me the plan." They stepped back onto the porch, the night air cool around them. Olivia touched Adam's arm gently. "Are you sure you can do this? Bring him in alive?" Adam stared at the saloon lights. "I've dreamed of killing him for 14 months, he said quietly. "But then I met you." Olivia's breath caught. "And?" He turned to her, eyes soft in the moonlight. "And I remembered there might still be something worth living for." She didn't trust her voice, so she only nodded. They crossed to the general store porch to wait. The saloon doors swung open, spilling light onto the street. Barton and 2 of his men stumbled out, laughing. 2 others headed toward the livery. "They're splitting up," Adam murmured. "Sheriff's moving in." He turned to Olivia. "Stay here. No matter what, you stay hidden." But Olivia's heart twisted. She couldn't stand the thought of him facing danger alone. After a long moment, she followed, silent, quick, staying to the shadows. She reached the hotel lobby just as things exploded into motion. Adam and the sheriff stood face to face with Barton. Barton's hand hovered by his gun. a sneer spreading across his face when he saw Adam. "Well, if it ain't Marshall Prescott," Barton drawled, "still crying over that pretty wife of yours?" Adam's eyes hardened. "You're under arrest." Barton laughed, cold, cruel. "You think I'm hanging for people who should have known better than to cross me?" "Your choice," the sheriff warned. "Come quiet or don't." Barton moved fast, but Adam moved faster. 2 shots cracked through the room. Barton staggered, a bullet in his shoulder, his gun clattering to the floor. But no one saw the third outlaw slip behind them. No one except Olivia. She saw the outlaw raise his gun and aim straight at Adam's back. "Adam, behind you!" she shouted. Adam spun, but the outlaw fired. The bullet tore across Adam's arm, grazing him. A deputy tackled the shooter before he could fire again. It was over. Adam turned to Olivia, blood on his sleeve. Relief and anger battled in his expression. "I told you to stay put," he said, voice low. "You're welcome," Olivia replied, breathless, "for saving your life." He opened his mouth to argue, but then his expression softened. "Thank you," he murmured. "Just please listen next time." "Next time?" Olivia repeated, a small smile playing on her lips. His eyes softened. "If you want there to be a next time." Before he could say more, the sheriff approached. "Prescott, we've got them all. Let's get that arm looked at." Adam nodded, but his eyes stayed on Olivia. Later, he told the sheriff, "I need a moment first." When they stepped outside, the night was quiet. Adam reached out with his uninjured arm and brushed Olivia's cheek with the tips of his fingers. "I never thought I'd find anything worth hoping for again," he said softly. "But then you came crashing into my life." "Adam," Olivia whispered. "I'm not asking for answers now," he said. "I just want to know if maybe there could be something here." Her heart felt too full for her chest. "I'd like that," she whispered. They stood close, breath mingling, the tension warm and new. Adam looked like he might kiss her, but he stepped back instead. "After the trial," he said, "after I finish this." She nodded. "I'll wait." 1 week later, Barton and his men stood before the circuit judge. They were sentenced to hang. Justice was finally done. That evening, Adam found Olivia on the porch of the small teacher's house, the last rays of daylight catching her hair. "It's over," he said softly. "How do you feel?" "Relieved," he said, "like I can finally breathe again." He took her hands. "I know we haven't known each other long, but I feel like I've been waiting for you without knowing it." Her breath trembled. "Adam, I'd like to court you properly," he said, "if you'll let me." She touched his face gently. "Yes, I'd like that very much." He kissed her, slow, tender, sure. And when they parted, she rested her head against his chest. He turned to leave, but Olivia's voice trembled behind him. "Adam," she whispered, "don't leave me again." He spun back to her and pulled her into his arms, holding her tight. "Never," he vowed. "I'm yours, Olivia, for as long as you'll have me." The weeks that followed the trial brought a kind of peace Olivia had not known in years. Silver Creek settled into a gentle rhythm as autumn leaves turned gold and drifted across the schoolyard. Children laughed in the yard. The church bell rang each morning. Smoke curled lazily from chimneys as families prepared for winter. And each day, like clockwork, Adam Prescott appeared at her door. Some days he brought coffee. Some days he carried fresh bread from the baker. Some days he just brought himself, hat in hand, eyes warm in a way that made Olivia's heart flutter. He stayed on the edge of town in a small rented cabin. Folks whispered about him, the former marshal who'd brought down Barton, but they respected him, admired him, and Olivia saw the change in him too. The grief was still there, but no longer swallowing him whole. For the first time, he was looking forward instead of backward. One crisp morning, Adam met her outside the schoolhouse carrying 2 horses. "School's out early today," he said with a hopeful smile. "I thought maybe we could ride." Olivia hesitated only a moment before nodding. She climbed onto the gentle mare Adam had chosen for her, already feeling safer because he was near. They rode out of town into rolling hills brushed with autumn colors. The scent of pine filled the air. and the breeze carried the sound of distant water. After a while, they stopped near a small ridge overlooking the valley. From there, the whole world seemed spread out beneath them. "I used to ride here with Sarah and Emma," Adam said quietly. Emma called it the top of everything. Quote, Olivia placed a hand on his arm. "Do you think they'd approve of you being here now, of you moving on?" Quote. Adam looked out across the land. "I think they'd want me to live," he said, "not just exist." Then he looked at her, eyes soft, "And I think they'd be grateful for you." Olivia felt her breath catch. "For me?" "For giving me something to hope for again," he said. A silence settled between them. Warm, gentle, full of things neither quite knew how to say. Olivia looked away toward the horizon. "Adam," she whispered, "sometimes I'm afraid this is too fast, that one day you'll wake up and realize I'm not what you want." Adam stepped closer, his voice firm but tender. "Olivia Anderson, when I look at you, I see a woman who chose courage over comfort, who crossed half the country to build a new life. You are more than I ever hoped to find." Her eyes filled with tears that she didn't bother to hide. They rode back to town slowly, the sun dipping low and painting the sky pink and gold. When they reached her house, Adam walked her to the porch like he always did, but tonight felt different. He cleared his throat softly. "Olivia, there's something I've been meaning to ask." Quote. Her heart thudded. "What is it?" Quote. Adam reached into his vest and pulled out a small wooden box, worn around the edges as if handled often. Her breath caught when he opened it. Inside was a simple silver ring, elegant but not flashy, the kind of ring a woman could wear every day for the rest of her life. His voice wavered just slightly. "I don't want to rush you. I don't want to make you feel pressured like you were before. I just want you to know how I feel." He stepped back a little, giving her space. "I love you, Olivia," he said, "not because you're someone to save, not because you remind me of anything I lost, but because these past weeks with you, they've shown me a future I never thought I'd have again. A home, a partner, someone to laugh with, walk with, build with." Olivia covered her mouth with her hand. Tears slipped down her cheeks. "You don't need to answer tonight," Adam added quickly, "or tomorrow, or even next week. I just want you to know my heart is yours, whether or not you ever wear this ring." Olivia stepped forward, closing the distance between them. She took the ring from its box and held it between her fingers. "Adam," she whispered, her voice trembling, "I don't need time." He blinked. "You don't?" She shook her head, smiling through her tears. "I knew from the moment you lifted me onto your horse. I've never felt safer with anyone. I've never felt more home." She placed the ring in his hand. "Put it on me." Adam's breath shook as he slid the ring onto her finger. It fit perfectly, as if it had been waiting for her. When he looked up, Olivia lifted her face to his. This time, he didn't hesitate. His arms wrapped around her, strong and sure, pulling her into a kiss filled with all the love and gratitude and wonder neither of them had the words to express. When they finally pulled apart, Olivia rested her forehead against his. "I love you, Adam," she whispered. "I want a life with you." A smile broke across his face, pure, joyful, almost boyish. "You'll never have to fear losing me," he said. "Not again." He pulled her close, holding her tight on the porch as the stars bloomed above them. Olivia leaned into his embrace, her heart full, her future clear. The storm that had brought them together had turned into the beginning of something strong and lasting. She had come west searching for purpose, but she had found her heart's home instead. And in Adam's arms, she knew she would never walk alone again.